BluePrint series
on 99 FM
is brought to you by Standard Bank Namibia. #growth.
All right, now you might have heard that all payment flows between countries within the CMA, we're talking about Eswatini, South Africa, Namibia, and Lesotho, will be done via foreign exchange and will no longer be processed via EFT rails and will therefore be treated as cross-border transactions. Joining me in the studio on the Standard Bank Blue series for tonight is the head for digital and e-commerce, Burger Smith, and Fazelle Gents, who is the head of product corporate and investment banking. For more with regards to this right here on 99 FM. A very good evening to you and welcome to it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening, Sean. Thanks for having us, and good evening to all the listeners.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Fazelle, how's the evening?
The evening is good and we're happy to be here, Sean.
All right. Let's start with you, as a matter of fact. How will the transition from EFT rails to foreign exchange channels impact the speed and the cost of transactions between Namibia and CMA countries? I think this is a question that is basically on everybody's tongue right now since the story broke out.
Okay, so as you mentioned earlier, the current process is on the EFT rails.
Yeah.
So that's how we currently facilitate our transactions. So as the director of Bank of Namibia indicated, all of us need to be compliant by 30 September, where the transactions will be facilitated on the SADC RTGS rail. So, with regards to the pricing and speed, banks had to consider the timeliness as well as the affordability of this. And with the Bank of Namibia directive, which we'll touch on later with regards to pricing, they basically gave us tiered pricing that we should be charging. And the speed, banks will have 48 hours to business days to process the transactions, while the transactions will not reach Namibia.
Okay. 48 hours.
48 hours. 2 business days.
Okay, all right, awesome stuff. Let's talk to you, Burger, real quick here. What steps are Standard Bank basically taking, or what steps is Standard Bank taking to ensure that clients understand the new requirement for payment reason codes for balance of payments, otherwise known as BOP, reporting?
Thanks, Sean. I think it's a very important question because balance of payments is going to be a very critical component when customers are processing cross-border transactions going forward. For Standard Bank Namibia clients from the 9th of September 2024, clients will be required to enter the balance of payment codes. So what we are doing from a bank perspective is we've got frequently asked questions available to customers. We've informed them via direct messaging and communication through our standard channels, emails and SMSs. And then, of course, we also have additional information available on our social pages as well as on the website. So we also direct customers to our website, which is www.standardbank.com.na. And then alternatively for the customers, as we are going into this new payment changes, they can also feel free to contact our customer contact center, as well as visit any of our Standard Bank branches or reach out to their relationship managers.
Let's touch on business with you, Fazelle. I saw this as well as part of the comments, people having concerns about how the trade situation is going to happen now that is not going to be happening anymore. How will the change in processing cross-border transactions affect businesses that frequently trade with CMA countries?
I think there was definitely administrative requirements from businesses to develop their business online platforms since beneficiaries had to be changed. There's additional reporting requirements now with PSD9, such as you need to put in a balance of payment code, which wasn't previously required. You have to update your existing beneficiaries to include your beneficiary's physical address. So with these requirements, either you had to update your existing beneficiaries. Some businesses had to make changes to the information systems as well, especially the ones on our host channels, to ensure that it's compatible with SADC RTGS rails.
Are there any charges or perhaps fees that clients should be aware of with this transition?
As I mentioned previously, as in the directive, Bank of Namibia basically gave us tiers on inward and outward payments.
Yeah.
So on outwards, we can charge transactions between $1 million, below $1 million. You are capped at nothing more than $20 Namibian dollars.
Okay.
Between 1 and 5 million, which is our low value CMA transactions, we can charge nothing more than 30 Namibian dollars. With regards to inwards, for 1 to below 1 million, you can charge 25 Namibian dollars, and above 1 million, lower than 5 million, you can charge 35 Namibian dollars.
Okay, not too hefty. It's okay.
Okay.
It's coming to you, Berger, as well. What perhaps are some of the challenges does the bank, Standard Bank Namibia, anticipate with the implementation of PSD9, which is the payment system determination, and how will that be basically addressed?
Okay, so I think previously with the normal EFT rails, right?
Yeah.
Customers didn't need to enter a lot of additional details. So the payment was effected quick and easy. With the new changes to CMA payments, especially I think some of the challenge might come with balance of payment category codes.
Sure.
Because it's something totally new to clients, and it's going to be at a client-facing end where the customer now needs to go select a BOP code based on the type of payment that they want to process. To either a supplier or to a university, etc. So all of them have different payment codes, right? So I think from a customer perspective, that can be the initial challenge. Then further to that, I think Vizelle spoke to it as well, the delays in payments, right?
Sure.
Because ideally all of these new CMA payment changes, there will be cut-off times for CMA, right? So from a Standard Bank Namibia client payment perspective, the cut-off time is 2:30 p.m. weekdays, and then on weekends and public holidays there will be no processing, and all of the payments made after 2:30 on a Friday, they will only be effected the next business day, which means it's a Monday, and if it is a public holiday, of course, then the next business day thereafter. So the timing of the payment to reach the CMA country beneficiary might be impacted because of these cut-off times as well.
Just for the sake of the listener as well, you are tuned into 99 FM, your favorite radio station, with Nishan in the evening. We're talking to digital, or the head for digital and e-commerce, Berger Smith from Standard Bank Namibia, as well as Fazelle Jens, who is the head of product, corporate and investing, or rather investment banking for Standard Bank Namibia as well, talking to us about how all payment flows between CMA countries like Eswatini, Lesotho, Namibia, and South Africa being, they will basically be done via foreign exchange and will no longer be processed via EFT rails, that type of situation. So just talking to you still, Berger, will there be any changes in the way clients initiate cross-border transactions under the new guidelines?
So under the new guidelines, definitely there's changes in the way customers initiate transactions. So like I made mention, previously it was a normal EFT a customer would do. Going forward, for Standard Bank Namibia clients, as from the next week, the 9th of September, it will then be initiated as a true international payment via SWIFT rails, as well as with the changes, additional information is also required from a customer perspective, such as you would need to insert your BOP code, the residential address of the beneficiary receiving the funds in the CMA country, and not the postal address, and then of course the SWIFT code and the bank name and the entity or customer name. So those are additional fields which was not necessarily always required by EFT.
Yeah. All right. Like I did mention earlier, Fazelle, that there's a lot of concerns, a lot of questions being asked on social media with regards to this whole entire situation here. How is the bank specifically planning to educate and support clients through the transition to the new EFT regulations?
Okay, I think Burger touched on it previously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But what we do have is the FAQs, the frequently asked questions.
Sure.
We have our Standard Bank Namibia website. We have easy aids that we provided to our clients just to direct them once we go live on how to process a transaction. Direct communication where we have that one-on-one conversations with our clients, and I'm hoping that today would also enlighten clients with what's coming next week.
All right. Berger, what impact will PSD9 specifically have on the overall efficiency and security of the national payment system?
So the Payment System Determination 9 it regulates the conduct of EFT transactions in the national payment system of the country, right? And this is just to ensure safety, security, as well as transactions being seamlessly processed. With this, it also allows for standardized processes.
Sure.
All banks will need to process transactions in a similar fashion. And then, of course, improved oversight from a regulatory perspective. So the regulator has now oversight of all payments leaving Namibia to CMA, as well as all payments incoming from a CMA to a Namibian perspective.
And how exactly will the enforcement of the balance of payments reporting codes influence the transparency and traceability of cross-border transactions?
So I think definitely the regulation will allow for the visibility of economic activity in the country. I think that is the primary objective of this as well. And also by providing clear and standardized frameworks for banks to comply with to report these transactions as per the directive that was issued by the Bank of Namibia. And if all banks, and especially from a Standard Bank Namibia perspective, by using the standardized processes, it will ensure that our transactions are classified in a consistent manner, which will allow from a regulatory perspective as well as from a country perspective to compare and analyze the flow of funds between the common monetary areas and then, of course, Namibia.
All right. Fazelle Jens and, of course, Berger Smith from Standard Bank Namibia for the Standard Bank BluePrint series tonight on 99 FM. Is there anything else, perhaps, that we haven't touched on that you feel like you need to add to what we've spoken about tonight before we call it a night, basically?
So I think from my side is just again to reiterate to the customers. From a Standard Bank Namibia perspective, it's effective the 9th of September. But if there's any clarity required for our customers, to feel free to contact us or get a hold of us, to contact our customer call center on 92860 or then phone their relationship managers.
All right. Fazelle, anything from your side?
Nothing.
Well, thank you so much for taking our time to talk to us, and we cannot wait to hear from you again.
Thanks, Nishan.
And that's the BluePrint series, courtesy of Standard Bank Namibia, right here on 99 FM.